Hi there, my name is James Miles, and I will be showing you some of the entry-level exercises for CEEBot. Now, if you're not sure, CEEBot is like I said, entry-level program to help teach people how to code and program in the language of C, or rather, a sort of pseudo-code of C, because there are some aspects of CEEBot that don't necessarily get applied straight across to C as easily as one would hope. So, when we open up CEEBot, we'll get a little bit of a screen beforehand, we'll get a couple credit messages, and then you'll be presented with a screen before this, a screen before this which will ask you to select your class and your student number. Pick any class, pick any student number, as long as when you get to this screen you don't see any ticks, because ultimately you want this to be blank. You don't want to have someone else's work getting in the way of yours, because it'll affect your learning, it'll prevent you from being able to fully understand the program at hand. And then you'll get to this screen after you've selected your class and your student number, and you'll see this. It is selected to college right now. We don't want college, we want standard. So if you press introduction, and then we press 1 in the introduction, so we get to the landing stage, we'll click play, and then we'll get started with the landing section. When we start the game, we'll experience a lovely movie. Thankfully, we can escape through the movie and we can get started onto the code, because you guys don't need to sit there and watch me watch a movie. Movieception is not fantastic. We'll try finish off landing, get it all sorted, and then if we can, we'll get on to move a robot. But let's see how this goes. So there you go. Like I said, we'll just skip through the movie and then we'll press F1. So F1 is how we get our instructions. F1 is how you always get your instructions on CEEBot. Sometimes the instructions are very, very helpful. Sometimes the instructions are not very helpful. That's CEEBot. This is how it just is. So our task today is landing. Destroy 2 alien ants. So your task will always be up here, and then a little bit further down you'll have some images or some guidance as to how you need to complete said task. Sometimes it has an algorithm if the task at hand is a little bit more complicated than what we're currently doing, but for this instance we don't have one. But what we do have is program guidance. So it's telling us that we select our robot by pressing this icon in the corner, which will be about here, in the top left corner. This then selects this robot, because whenever you start the game, you are, unless otherwise prescribed, you are always controlling the man, and the man is not that helpful for what we need to do. So we click this to collect the robot, and then we click this dialog box. So as you can see, it's dots in some scopes. Then we will enter the instruction to fire the robot cannon. This is actual coding, but we'll get to that when we actually get into it, because we just want to get onto the next part of the program. So to complete the task completely, you also need to turn around 180 degrees and fire again at the ant behind the robot. Then the exercise will be finished automatically. So if we click this button down here, which is labelled return to exercise, also looks like a power button, we then get taken to the man, and then we click on the robot up here. Oh, screen is flashing on this one as well, and then we click the dialog box, and the screen will stop flashing when CEEBot calms down. So as you can see, I've already got some code in here, so we'll delete the code and we'll start afresh. So it wanted us to type in fire, and it said for 1 second. So in the brackets, for a lot of functions like this, for most functions in CEEBot, in the brackets is your variable or your numerical value that you input. So you can put 1, you can put 0.1, you can put 0.5. That's just the amount of time that the cannon will be firing. So as it stands, it will fire in a straight line and that ant will die. But if you recall, we needed to turn the robot around and kill this one as well. Now to turn the robot around, we just type in turn, and then we type in the degrees we want to turn, which, as we're just making it turn around 180 degrees, well, as we're making it change its position to face the other way, it's just 180 degrees. And then we put a fire command in. And then what you do in this instance is you go down here and you click this button, which is called the compile button, or this is where the compiler runs, and we click that, and it comes up with an error because, yay, we forgot something. So the semicolon terminator is missing. So this is a semicolon, and we'll just pop that in now before we forget. And basically what this means when we're on CEEBot, or when we're working in any C languages, is this line of code is done now because the semicolon is there. If the semicolon isn't there, then that line of code is not finished, and the computer is anticipating more to come. If there isn't any more there, the compiler will throw up an error. So we'll click and we'll see how this goes. 1 ant fatally wounded. Turn around. 2 ants fatally wounded. Well done. Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished, guys. White screen. That'll be it now. Didn't get enough time to go on to the next one. Maybe another day. But yeah, thanks for watching. Much appreciated.